You bloody ripper. You bloody ripper. I'm going to start this episode off with a little anecdote, though. On Friday night, I walked into Woolworths after the game and went and grabbed some groceries, went to the self-checkout and put my things in the baggage area, and I heard from the computer it was unexpected item in the baggers area. And it was the fucking Saints. Get around us. How are we, boys? What's going on?
Well played,
big win. I'm pumped. This is huge. Marshy, you're in uniform. This is you in your prime. You've got the pure Saints out. Yeah. How you feeling?
Oh, yip, lads and listeners. I'm feeling fantastic. I've brought the yellow top out because it's a special occasion. I only bring this one out for special occasions. And, you know, some people would say, you know, keep a lid on it, lads. It's only one game. But fuck, what a game it was, wasn't it? Like, we all know how we felt leading into that one. And, geez Louise, that was the most satisfying win that would be in the top 10 for my satisfying wins, I'd say. Ever.
Love it.
That's a big intro.
Especially in terms of being there live.
Yeah. I have to say, that was one of the more hostile Marvel games I've actually been to.
It?
Yeah.
Well, we got there. I got there with Jaden probably 2 hours before the game because they said like it was sold out. You couldn't get tickets. Luckily, got the gold membership in my back pocket, so I just pulled that one out. Sorry, Joycey.
I'm pissed.
And it was all Carlton fans, and they were talking trash so much pre-game. I don't know if you got that as well, like a few words from the Carlton faithful.
They're up and about.
Especially when we got on a run, but then they hit the front and kicked 5 in a row.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, now we can relax. All right, now, game over now. See you later, Saners. This guy in front of us just kept turning around, giving me and Jaden so much shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. By the end of the game, we're shaking hands. He's like, well played. I'm like, yeah, you too. See you later. So it was good vibes all around. But yeah, I think what you were saying, like it feels like an away game, like a proper interstate game.
Yeah.
The amount of Blues that were there. So we just played 4 quarters, I reckon. Close to 4 quarters, which is what we needed.
Yeah, it was one of those games where we did come out with intent. We kicked the first 2 goals or 2.
3.
We kicked the first 3 goals. That's exactly right. We kicked the first 3 goals. And I think what we saw across the 4 quarters there was something really different to what we've seen the Saints do. You know, usually we put in a really defensive effort throughout the first half and then pile it on in the second half. Whereas we let the momentum of the game have its way and decide who was the better team. And we were. In the end, we were the better team. So I thought that was really interesting to watch. You know, usually we'd come out in the third quarter and pile on, 6-7 goals in a row or getting a run like we did against Richmond and go absolutely berserk. But it was just, it just ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
And it was a good contest. It was a good contest all game. But we were just that little bit more polished. We were so composed with the ball. We kicked straighter. We were so much more composed going inside 50, especially. That was the biggest, I think, change this week.
They've been listening to the pod. They've been
have been, yeah.
Like the king. Like we didn't target him. I think we targeted him maybe once in that first quarter.
Yeah.
And instead going to the Membreys and the Butlers and Marshall Ryder. There's just so much to unpack from this game. I don't know where to start.
All right, let's start.
We have to start somewhere.
Let's start with gameplay. We'll get into the players and how well they did. Mm-hmm. But general gameplay, what was the biggest difference that you boys saw in terms of gameplay? Jackie.
Thanks. Run and carry. The hands.
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes, I reckon Brad Hill and Sinks had about 10 possessions between them already. Yeah. They were running rings around Carlton.
Yeah. So run off half back?
Run off half back. Ball use was better because we were moving.
Yeah.
And special mention to, I know we won't talk about players, but I think we talk about ball movement.
Yeah.
We needed players like Billings to be on the move constantly.
Yeah.
And he had, I think, 10 or 11 marks for the game. Not a huge impact scoreboard-wise or anything, but that just allowed us to connect, and it wasn't bombing down the line.
It was another target.
We didn't need to go. How many times do we bomb it to King and the ball was punched out of bounds and it was a reset?
Yeah, that's one thing you can never criticise on JB is that he will lead time and time
Yeah.
again until he creates that space either for himself or someone else to come in front. Mm-hmm. So it was his perfect game, wasn't it?
And we used him. We didn't because half the time the players are there. They're leading in those pockets.
Yeah.
We just overlook them and want to go further.
Yeah.
This time we're actually lowering our eyes and going that 15 metre. And some of them probably about 10 metres, but the umps were paying them.
Yes.
Which encouraged us to kind of go for those a bit more because we knew umps are going to pay that.
Yeah.
Even if it's not there. So
Yeah.
I think we used that pretty well.
So ball use, carry
Ball
off
use.
of the half back.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Teacher.
Yes, Marshall.
Saints footy's on, especially this brand of Saints footy, when we're just flicking it out. We're just sending it out to blokes who, until there's, that run, creating that run and carry, but just clean hands and just out the back until you get a Hill or a Sinclair. But just not, rarely were we handballing it to guys under the pump.
Yeah, they were moving.
And they were moving and
So that comes spread from stoppage, do you reckon?
Well, could well do because, Crouch it. The whole engine room.
Yeah.
You said they needed to lift
Yeah.
as one cohesive unit, and they did that.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Run from half back.
Yep.
Ball use, spread from clearance, which is where we get done every single time we get forced out to the wings. We were doing that to them.
Yeah.
They barely got a clean clearance. And we put so much pressure on them in the midfield that at one stage, George Hewitt, he did us a massive favour and gave it straight to Butler, who kicked a goal.
Oh, was that from Crouchy's big tackle?
Big tackle,
And
exactly.
he,
That was
slung
excellent.
out,
And
yeah.
the fact that this man here,
So,
he just got it, and the first instinct was kicking the goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
And I
Butler's
love that.
pantry, the door's open.
He went
Yeah.
back to basics, didn't
Yeah,
he? And
he
that
did.
roving goal in the last quarter, we needed it.
Yep.
How quiet was it when he kicked that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get that as well?
Oh.
I didn't even know it went through because there was no noise.
Oh, yeah, because it looked like a behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ump
on
was
TV,
the other
end.
The ump gave it the
Yeah.
2 fingers, and then everyone got up. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, that was good. It was just clinical.
Yes, it was. It was a very clinical performance, wasn't it? And that the last thing as well was the functionality of the forward line. Incredible. So from those clearances, we ended up having 51 inside 50s and only conceding 44 or something like that compared to the 50 plus that we've conceded over the past 3 weeks. It was just incredible to see that we were actually getting the clearances that count, the ones that put you deep inside 50. And then when it was put to the top of the squares, the forwards, the small forwards were at work again. It's like, finally, we've actually got people crumbing.
Yeah.
And what I was talking about with Brisbane a few weeks ago, how they always had 3 at the front of the pack, it looked like they were doing that. It looked like the mids were coming to help out. Billings was always there. So, we were just running for each other and we're doing the right type of running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaking like being always there, pretty much every game that you watch, there'll be like a handful at least of players that I didn't notice them throughout the game or large patches, but I felt like out in top, everyone that ran out, you noticed them.
Yes.
There wasn't one bloke that I'm like, didn't really, everyone just kept on popping up for 4 quarters. No one went missing.
We weren't so key player focused, were we?
No.
We were team focused for the first time in a long time. And Rui came out and said it during the week that we are a very one-dimensional forward line. It's Max King or bust.
Yeah.
He barely got near it in the first quarter and we went berserk. We kicked the first 3 goals without looking for him.
Yep.
Through means of Membrey, who was just sublime.
Back to where we want him to play.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
it.
right. So Membrey, Ryder, and Butler kicked the first 3, I'm pretty sure. So it was just a big, or it could have been Higgins, but it was just a big change in momentum. It was different momentum for St Kilda. It wasn't, a key player coming in and going berserk momentum. It was team momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like all the Huskies were pulling the sled.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It was just, it was a big change, and it just felt so, it was calming to watch.
It was, but God, I was sick watching that game at the same
Yeah.
time.
Of course,
we were playing so well, but they were playing really well
they kept
too.
pegging us back.
They kept pegging us back, and it just, you just had it in the back of your mind. They're like, oh, we could fold here. There's excuses out there why we could, like Howard's gone for a whole half.
Yeah.
And you're just sort of getting ready for that, but we just stayed in the moment.
Yeah.
And it was sensational.
Yeah.
And like, just to go back to the crowd, right? So we called the banners to go behind our goals. So we lent some good, strong support. There's about nearly 100 of us behind the goals, and we made all the poor Carlton supporters that chose to sit near the Saints cheer squad. Fuck, we made their night uncomfortable. It was so good. It was so good.
Absolutely.
Because they couldn't believe what they were seeing, like these Carlton supporters. Because, you're right, Jakey. They came in expecting the chockies. And, geez, when they got the licorice bullets, they were not happy. They were not happy.
Brilliant.
That's such a good analogy.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about the defence as well. I thought they held up brilliantly. I thought Dougal Howard's first half was really good.
He was,
so
yeah.
he had a big job on Mackay. And I think he really did a fantastic job. And, of course, now he's going to miss a bit of time out with his meniscus injury.
How long's that?
I think it'll be about 4 to 6.
Yeah, they said 4 to 6, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, so usually it's a bit worse than that, but you could still see him on the field. He was able to move. It was just when he went to pivot that his cartilage really copped it. So, brave thing. He came back out on the ground. They would have given him an injection or something like that, and he came back on the ground, but just wasn't able to get the job done, unfortunately. But then, that's the best thing about our backline now is we're so team-focused that Battle can go on to Mackay, and he was 11 centimetres shorter.
Yeah.
But he still gave it his best. And we had blokes that Highmore came on straight away.
Is that not the perfect sub move?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's
spot on.
fantastic. And it's so good to see him back out in Saints colours again because, fuck, we've missed him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had an immediate impact when he came back out. I want to know how many spoils and, intercepts and, how many chains he stopped. He is class,
he had 12 or 13 disposals in that time.
Yeah, in that half. So, you double
Full
that
game.
for a full game. You're like,
And that mirrors what he's been doing at Sandy, I suppose numbers-wise, which is good to see.
Yeah, wasn't
absolutely.
overawed or anything.
Yeah, well, starting on players.
Yep.
Let's talk about them. We'll start in our defence because we were just there. So Highmore coming in and chopping out. I thought Battle was struggling a bit in that first half, and then his game had purpose.
Yeah, when was given the serious job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves it. He loves having the serious job. So he only took 2 marks for the game, which is, quite low for him. Usually he's intercepting and doing a bit more. But, I think the second half, that's heroic stuff. To go, I'll go on the best key forward in the comp right now and try and take him out.
He just scrapped and just...
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, and he worked him well under the ball. So there were a few times he got caught out when the ball dropped short or anything like that, or it was just poked up. But most of the time he was working him under the ball and he was hassling him, and then Mackay got the cheapest free kick.
I was going to say, don't forget that one.
Yeah,
But
where he threw the head back.
Yeah, he threw the head back. And
He missed it anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, he
did.
did. Yeah,
A bit of justice.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll talk about that in the umpiring later. But I think the back line was just a cohesive unit. I think they all did their job. Webster was pretty good.
Yeah.
They had their motlop.
It was mainly the smalls. It was
Yeah.
mainly the Carlton smalls that seemed to do the damage early. Like
Absolutely.
Modlob kicked 2 rippers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the second one I would have liked Battle to really bury him, but he kind of just got away from him.
Yeah. He's going to be some player, that
But their tools, Kerno, he got a cheapie when we turned it over in the middle from Sinks.
And that was the only
And
goal
Saad
he kicked.
just kicked it. And that was the only goal he kicked.
So Wilkie.
De Koning didn't do much.
No.
So we handled their tools as well as we
so
could have,
well.
to be honest.
And that's another scalp for Wilkie, isn't it? That's another amazing game for Callum Wilkie.
Yeah.
I think I saw him make one mistake. He took a kick out from fullback and
he
turned it
kicked
straight over.
And then Fisher plays on and misses it. And you're like, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're pretty lucky in circumstances like that, but you got to take that luck and go, well, that's what happens
Every
when you
game,
put pressure on.
there's stuff like that.
All those scoring shots that they missed was because of scoreboard pressure.
Yeah.
As soon as you put a team under scoreboard pressure, that's when you find out who the real winners are.
Yeah.
And we were under scoreboard pressure, and we kicked them.
Well, Membrey, the one late,
Oh,
that was almost the sealer, and he just nailed it.
yeah.
So you got to take those moments, and we did.
Yeah, absolutely. So defensive-wise, I think we were really good. And then Sinclair.
Yeah.
He is an All-Australian lock.
That's 3 votes.
3 votes, Jack Sinclair. All-Australian lock. Like, he has just gone berserk this
He
year.
was just digesting that many contested marks.
How they didn't try to do anything against him was beyond me.
This is the great thing, right? This is the great thing, because we had Hill running his guts out.
Yeah.
There was a bit of footage on the replay that you got to watch, and he burnt Cottrell to the ground. Like, just, You know, Hill was being tagged all game by Cottrell.
Yeah,
All
after
game.
the first quarter, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he just put up with it. And he was like, all right, well, if I'm going to be tagged, pack your lunch. I'm going to give you a tour of Marvel. So I think, you know, Brad Hill, well done. He got caught a few times and he's not great with getting the ball out when he's been tackled. He doesn't really have that core strength to be able to stand up in it. But he had a great game. 27 possessions while being tagged.
It was amazing. And it was just on him getting caught. Like, I think there was one where, I don't know, whoever dragged him down, but he had nothing up ahead.
Yes.
Except for Blues.
Yeah.
So, you know, he could have just bombed it. He's like, nah, fuck it.
Take it.
I'm just going to wear it.
Yeah.
Just wear the hole in the ball. So that little bit of play is just unselfish, smart football.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, wearing this one for the team. Yeah, I've been dragged down and it makes me look like shit, but it gives our team just a chance to just
slows it down, doesn't it?
slows it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't notice. Yeah, that's a great point.
So another great effort from Brad Hill. I mean,
Yeah.
on the back of on the back of missing a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, and a pretty
How
average
good is his
performance.
link up with him and Malera?
Oh,
Jeez.
We haven't
all
even
right.
covered the
Well,
young
ticking
boys
on
yet.
to Malera now. Let's go there.
Because Sinclair and Hill and Jimmy, their ball use moved out to the wings, and
He was always in the right spot on those wings.
he was
Yeah.
unreal.
The thing with Malera, right? So if you watch the replay, his second term was
Yeah.
gold. Just brilliant. Intercepting, flying, receiving. Just a great first half. A great first half. I think we've got to get the ball into his hands more. You know, like sometimes he'll give off the handball and we'll take it off away from him. Give it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him back the
Draw
ball.
the man.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Yeah, because I want to see him delivering the ball inside 50 more often. You know, let's get that into him. Because we all remember that kick to King.
Oh, yeah. It's the kick of the year.
That's the kick
There
of the
was an
year.
award.
Was
Yeah.
that Geelong?
No, that was North.
North, yeah. That was just,
That was kick of the year.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
that's very cool.
You know, and he can do that 9 times out of 10.
But it's also what he does when he doesn't really have the ball.
Yeah.
And there was so many, like one of our goals, I think, was when Carlton finally tried to cut in board,
Yeah.
get into the middle of the ground, but the ball was a bit too high. And he read it perfectly, and he's come from over here 10 metres, sprinted his ass off. He didn't really get hands to it, but he did enough to kind of get in the way.
Yes.
And the Carlton player couldn't take the mark. Ball hits the deck. He's still there pressing and pressing and pressing until we eventually turn it over. And I think that's when Sebi chips it, and then there's Gresh, and we basically
Yes.
handball and run it into an open goal.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Higgins does that snap on the
yeah,
run.
that's the one.
And you're like, that's all from Malera, from that
Yeah.
pressure that he put on. And
Oh,
same with another young boy that, oh man, I loved his game so much. He only had the 11. I can't believe that. They're
Yeah.
the greatest 11 possessions I've ever seen.
yeah. We found
100%.
one.
His presence
Yeah.
as a player, it's what he, like same with Naz, his pressure off the ball is great, but it's Windy's presence. Like he's always on the move when he gets the ball. Have you noticed that? When
Yeah.
he gets the hands,
He's a shadow.
he's sprinting, like doing 5-meter sprints and then
Yeah.
gets the ball out. He's so quick.
He's an absolute shadow.
Yeah.
Like he actually got put on Doherty in that second half, and just a couple of burying tackles,
Yeah.
and like just frustrated him, annoyed him.
Doc got him back though with one, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yeah, he,
He
did.
loved that one.
Big time. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But
How is it? There was so people have spoken about the Petrarca likeness and that. I didn't really, I thought that was a bit of a wild call, but that where he picked up the ball in between his legs.
He does things
And
like that.
just
yeah.
kept like all in one fluid movement.
brilliant.
And like, as you would a basketball. But that was just explosive. You can't teach that.
Yeah.
And
Set
yeah,
up a goal.
he's got one of the cleanest hands on the deck.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we've definitely found
We've
a couple
got
of
a
absolute
very good
rippers.
player there.
Yeah, it's so exciting to have 2 first-year players that are going really, really well.
And we know- yeah.
And you got Owens as well.
Exactly.
He'll come back to the 2 soon, won't he? Or
Hopefully, I think his concussion's taken a bit longer.
yeah,
I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all right. While they're young,
Yeah.
keep them
I
out,
think-
keep them safe.
They had the week off this week, Sandy, so that'll help.
Yeah,
We'll see how he
true.
goes this week.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully he can get back into the senior side soon because he was fantastic. I thought on the wings we were very damaging. We're still missing Daniel McKenzie, so you can imagine with D-Mac back in that side that we would have been twice as dangerous.
Wood, we can't underrate
Yeah,
his
I was
game.
going to say, in the meanwhile, what did you guys make of Wood's game? Because I thought
Wood's good is really good, but Wood's bad is really bad.
Yeah, he
Like-
does something really sexy and then he mups it. But you can't question his endeavour.
No,
No.
exactly. He did some really brave things again this week,
Yeah.
continuing on from last. So that's a big improvement in his game, getting in front of packs, making sure he's using his height to his advantage.
Because it's another form of inspiration in that you take inspiration out of like the Hills and the Sinclairs just taking on, and Nas just taking on hitting good targets, being really clean. But you can also take inspiration from blokes like Wood that put themselves in the right positions, win the ball, and then just a skill error,
Yeah.
but then they go and try and make up for it.
Yeah.
I think they can all be equally sort of as infectious.
Even
Yeah.
I think it was King's goal right at the end. I think that was Wood.
Was that where it bounced off his back?
He falconed it back of his head.
Yeah.
But it's like he's just competing.
Yes,
And
exactly.
If he's not there, they
Yeah.
mark that. It's not a goal.
Exactly
He's
right.
there and something happens. Whether it's clean or not, we don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just there and that's a goal assist in my eyes. So.
The couple of times that got me where he took these beautiful, sexy overhead marks and then he goes to kick it inside the 51, ends up being an inside-out
that one.
torp out in the full.
Yeah.
And then, in front of King, and then he tries to hit King again, who was 5 metres in the clear, but, tries to stab it.
He lasered that.
He lasered it straight onto Hewitt's chest, and I'm like,
I think-
Woody, put it up.
Yeah.
He's 2.5 metres tall.
Yeah, he gets a bit excited, Mason.
He does, yeah. So he just needs
I
that
love
little
that.
bit of composure going
Yeah.
inside 50 because all he has to do is lay that up. And it happened earlier in the game when King took that big contested mark.
From too deep when he snuck in front.
Yeah, that's exactly. I can't remember exactly who kicked that ball in, but it was brilliant. And the only person that was ever going to get to that was Max King. And, he made it look sexy. So let's talk about Max.
Yeah,
I thought that was his best game for the club.
me too.
For the club.
For the
Yeah.
club. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought, you know what? He moved up the ground. He laid tackles. He was applying pressure up the
Yeah.
ground. He did the team thing.
He was omnipresent, because
Yeah.
the commentators were saying that he hasn't been cited. I'm like, bullshit. You're
bullshit.
discrediting all these leads and all those 1%ers, the tackles, just being involved.
Yeah.
Because too often he just goes missing.
Yeah.
If it's not getting bombed to him.
Yeah.
But he was everywhere.
And he's
Yeah.
great on the ground. He follows up his work.
Oh,
The one on was it halfback flank
That's
or something?
the
And
one.
he picked it up off his
Yeah,
shoelaces
yeah.
and he dodged a guy and then got the hands off. I'm like,
yeah.
no one else that height will do that in this competition.
And then he goes and pretty much does the big step and then on the left.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That was the most exciting goal of the night.
it was.
That was brilliant. And that
Yeah.
put us back in front, too.
For me, that was the side step of the year. The goose step.
The goose step.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
So
was
good.
That was mint.
Yeah, so his game was just fantastic. And he kicked 3 very different goals.
Yeah.
So that side step where he picked it up off the ground and went, and then the contested mark and goal, and then
Off the
The
deck.
off the
soccer.
deck. Yeah. So, running back into the 50 at pace and hitting the ball drop at pace,
Yeah.
like treading water for that little bit and then absolutely darting onto it. Just brilliant. So, he's not just a tall key forward.
No, he's not one dimensional like the report was a week ago.
That's
from
exactly
Ruiz,
right.
so-
It's like, prove him wrong.
and he did.
Yep, absolutely. So he was brilliant. Our smalls were great. Butler and Higgins back to 2 goals apiece.
That's all
Yeah.
you need, eh?
Exactly right. They're not trying to do too much. Higgins didn't try and do too much. He wasn't going up for his contested marks or anything like that. He was at the fall of the ball every single time. Have faith in your tall forwards to get the ball to the ground and you do the rest of the work.
Yeah.
And he did. So I thought he was great. Gresham almost had goal of the bloody year from Paddy's tap out the back.
Yeah, jeepers.
Oh, he was fantastic again. Had that gone through.
Yeah.
Oh,
You almost think
That
they're
would-
always going through.
yes.
With his
He hit
left
the
to right
post.
weird
Yeah, he hit
kick,
the
you know?
post, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he
it
hit the
just
post.
missed.
Yeah.
Oh, such a pain in the ass. But he had a very unselfish game, didn't he? And usually he's taking more shots and he's going harder and trying to get more goals on the board. But he's like, I've got to leave the small forwards to do that.
Because it was almost like he had his ping early in the game.
Yep, and he shanked
he missed. And then, yeah, I guess sort of, all right, it's almost like, all right, that's my one for the game.
Yep.
Whereas, and then but towards the end of the game when Paddy did that,
Yeah.
he had no other option but to just go for it.
Yeah, well, that's where he earned his license, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, or the body of work he's put in between that and the
Yeah,
first one.
no
Yeah.
one else does that in our team.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And, he was a pillar coming inside 50 for little handballs to Higgins and Butler to open them up.
Yeah.
And applying pressure in the midfield. Like, our midfield was fantastic on the weekend.
Yeah, that was the best they've played in a month.
Yeah, Crouch, unselfish game.
He's
brilliant.
a beast.
He's a beast. He had 11 tackles or something as
Yeah.
well. You know, he's outright second on the leaderboard for tackles in the AFL. Steele,
Great game.
back to his Steely best, kicked
And-
that ripper goal.
Yeah.
Ripper, he loves those ones on the run.
He does.
Yeah.
Snap from 40, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're always kind of at crucial moments in the game. He just finds the space at the right time. And he was on Cripps, I think, a little bit of that game too.
He
I
was,
think he did
yeah.
a bit of a soft tag on
Second
Cripps.
half.
But that bounce, you watch that bounce, he's side by side on Cripps,
Yeah.
pressuring him. And then the second we win the ball, he's gone.
Yeah.
And Cripps does not follow him. So we utilised
That was the
really
Windhager
well.
pickup.
The Windhager pickup, yeah.
Yeah.
Created that opportunity. So, midfield, brilliant. Jones had a very good second half, I'll say. The first half, he was too focused on getting it onto his boot rather than doing what everyone else was doing and looking out the back. You know, he thought he was the last chain.
Yeah.
We still had one more.
Yeah.
So he improved on that in the second half because there was a lot of turnovers in the first.
Yep.
He was blazing away and it was just coming back.
He was finding the ball from the ruckman really well, though, I have to
Yes.
say.
He was, yeah. He was
Like,
getting his hands
that's
on
the
it.
first game since he's been back where there was a good connection between him and Marshall or him and Paddy.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
a
was
good
the
point.
first to it every single time. So the
Yeah.
next stage is just get it, and then, like you said, just use it a bit better.
Yep.
And
Seb Ross.
I thought
That was good.
I thought he was really good, and one of the things I really liked about Seb was he was one of our composed with the footy. He was the pacemaker nearly in that he would take the tempo out. He would get the ball, and he would just do the one step kick. It'll go 20 metres. He's going between the flags, but just slowing the game down a bit, just bringing it back onto our terms, because we were gaslight. I think it might have been the third quarter where Carlton had
Heaps of pressure.
heaps of pressure. They had it locked in their forward line for like a good 6-7 minutes, it felt like. And then I think that's when we got the Butler goal.
It was. And he did this beautiful little kick.
Yeah.
There was 4 Saints players running forward of the ball, and he just trickled it out.
Oh, that's
in
the
front.
one. Yeah. And
he
we
just
handballed it through.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. So that was one of the
So that was
best
smart.
kicks from
It
Seb
was
I've
smart.
seen.
Yeah.
He did something really stupid, though. It really pissed me off.
Yeah.
Because we were lucky. It didn't result in the goal because De Koning missed. But
Oh, the the
hack
bomb.
from
How far
2
did that go?
metres, it went about 20 metres.
Oh, the
But
one that
you-
just went straight up.
Yeah.
You don't hack kick from there. You handball it backwards to a player who pretends to not receive it and it goes through for a point. You know,
Yeah.
you're 2 metres out. Don't try and hack kick it because hack kicks only go 35 metres and that went less and it put De Koning straight in front of goal and I was like, come on, mate.
Yeah, because we had quite a few of them in the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
That just, like Sinclair did quite a few,
Yeah, exactly.
There were a few blokes guilty of that.
Yeah.
It's just not on.
No,
It's
not on. Not on. You try and handball and you try and spread out the back line.
Yeah.
Use the pockets to your advantage.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, if you don't hit the target in the pockets with the hands, it'll either be tapped out of bounds, intercepted for a tackle, you can create another stoppage. So look wide, look back, just do not kick it back into the corridor. Oh,
Yeah, but
God.
one thing that Seb's really reliable at is he's great in those chains of just spitting it out the back.
Yeah.
He-
Second nature for him.
It really is. It really is. He shovels it out well, and I don't know. He's got he's got a good little pivot about him. So
He was getting his body over the ball. He was getting ball first, and that's what he needs to do to play his best footy because he's not small.
yeah,
He's not a small bloke. He's 6'2". He's well built. He's got thick legs. So get your body over the ball and use that strength to get the ball out.
yeah.
You know, if you can be the extractor for the team, you've done your job as a midfielder, and we're all doing that.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a good complete team performance.
Yeah, and now just on the forward line. So we've gone through Higgins, Butler. Oh, sorry. Before we go there, the big boys, Rowe and Paddy.
A fucking
Oh,
row.
Row,
Jeez.
11 marks.
22 touches.
Could you imagine if he wasn't off the game for 15 minutes? Like,
What?
because that was like peak. That's like peak Marshall in a game.
Yeah.
When it's really on the line.
Yeah.
He rises like a phoenix, and
Yeah.
I reckon he would have added another 5 marks to that.
Yeah.
The
5
get out,
possessions.
yeah, absolutely, and like those get out of jail marks he does. He had about 4 of them.
Yeah, he's starting to stick him, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's starting to stick him. He's struggled for a long time. But now
the last 2 weeks have been sensational.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because the contract's all done now. He's happy.
Yeah,
He's got his little pay rise, and he's living up to it.
It's good because usually it's the opposite. That when a player announces a big contract extension, they come out and play shit.
Yeah, he played his best game of the year.
Yeah, exactly. He loves leading from the front. I reckon he's a big leader of that football team.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Definitely.
I think his spirit really brings everyone into it. He's a spiritual leader.
He is.
Yeah, he bloody is, though.
And the other spiritual leader, his partner in crime.
Bloody hell.
Fucking
He's
Paddy.
the chief. He is the
makes
chief
us-
of St Kilda FC.
He changes us so much.
Paddy
Players.
Ryder.
I'm gonna be gutted.
Jake.
I'm gonna be gutted when he retires.
Oh, absolutely.
So
We're all
hopefully
gonna
that's
cry.
not for like 3 years.
Yeah,
Just
please.
keep going.
They need
Yeah.
to announce one more year
Yeah.
soon. Just get it done. Give him one more year. He could do it.
Yeah. So 31 hitouts for the game
Yeah.
high.
Two
goals,
goals.
one.
Two goals, yeah.
Yeah, 2 goals, 1. Should have been 3. He missed
Loved
the set shot.
the second one. Chera just giving it to him.
Oh yeah. He just
But
picked
he
his
was-
pocket.
Cherry on top.
Yeah, he saw that. You can see it on TV. You could just watch him. He was on a man.
And then he just left.
protecting that space. And then he was just like, oh, fuck, hope he kicks it short here. Because I
Such
got
a
him.
bad kick, though, when you watch that. You're like,
was a
what are
shocker.
you doing?
Yeah, it was a shocking kick.
Gave it to us.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what forward pressure does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't want to have the ball. I'm going to give it to the bloke who's 15 metres over there and he can decide what he can do, or what he wants to do from that same position as me.
Yeah.
And he just muffed it. It was brilliant.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it when they muff it.
Oh,
And,
so
and
good.
I wanted Nunesy to get tackled at least once, and he got smashed once.
Oh, Butler
holding the ball. Got him
yeah.
big time.
Yeah, and then bloody Butler and Clark tried to both get him.
Oh, gee. And we didn't touch on him, but in the back line, Hunter Clark.
Yeah, back to his best.
He was back to his best. He was another one that was just unreal and just flicking out, and then moving it. So
They're the hands that we've known from Hunter Clark
Yeah.
for years gone by.
He was taking the tackles too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like absorbing them and then getting the hands up and getting rid of it.
You remember that
That's
Gold
him in
Coast
2020.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Gold Coast
2020.
game. Oh, where he went back and just like
He saved
silky
us.
smooth.
He won us
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah.
yeah,
The Bulldogs final, that was all Pete Clark, and we
Yeah.
saw a bit of that.
So it was really affirming that game though from
Yeah.
him. So it's really shit that he's had some luck. He's had some luck, but do we know how long he's going to be out for?
I think it could be about 2 to 3.
2 to 3. Yeah.
It's
So
good
he's-
that it wasn't worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just a
It's
broken
the
nose.
fractured nose.
Yeah, so he had his nose straightened. And,
Yeah.
you know, that usually takes 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A broken nose, like reset nose, is 2 weeks. I've had mine reset and scooped out and everything, and it was
Yeah.
2 weeks, you're good.
Yeah.
You're breathing better. So, you know, hopefully he comes back and he's...
I'm just glad it wasn't because he didn't get a concussion from it.
Correct.
Which that's pretty amazing that neither of them did from
Yes.
that collision.
Yeah.
But
I guess because it was face first. Like, it was a big kiss, wasn't it? It was a big smooch.
it was an Irish kiss.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
For sure.
jeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackers.
Yeah, that made me sick, that one.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. But in that time, so much time had gone past with getting the stretcher out on the ground. We were able to bring Rowan Marshall back out for the last
Yeah.
5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Huge.
And I think
Massive.
that was when Mackay was taking the shot as well.
Yeah.
It was.
So it kind
yeah.
of gave him time to think about it, then
Yeah.
he missed it.
Yeah.
You're like, good. He overthought it a little bit.
Yeah, correct.
Helped us there.
Yeah. And now, to my personal, other than Jack Sinclair, my BOG,
Yeah.
it was a 10 disposal game, but it was the best 10 disposal game I think he's ever had. The best 10 disposal game of the year, almost. Tim Membrey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Centre half forward, prime.
Yeah.
That's Dermy. That's Dermy stuff, what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, that first goal from outside 50,
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've never seen him flush a football like that. Like, that was the purest he's ever hit a football
Yeah.
from outside 50. He nailed it.
Yeah.
And I was
that's
just like,
right.
oh, he's on tonight.
That was the first goal of the game, was
That
it?
was the first goal of the game.
It was-
Yeah.
It's the overhead goal. He loves those.
That
That was unreal.
ridiculous.
Such quick thinking.
Yeah.
just
And
get
we'd
it on
love
the
to
boot.
say we're surprised, but he's done it before.
Yeah, he's done it several
And,
times.
and he looked like a kid again. He was having that much fun. From his first goal
Yeah.
to his last,
He was just
and
pumped.
everyone else is in between. He was up to, what is it, 69 kPa. Yeah. That's how pumped he was.
Good one. So, yeah, he was just berserk. So,
Yeah.
I reckon, 3 votes Sinclair, 2 votes to Tim Membry, and then,
What, 1 to Marshall?
yeah, probably
Yeah,
1 to Marshall.
I'll go
I reckon.
Roma.
So, is there anyone that we haven't covered here?
I think it's been
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty generous spread there.
Yeah.
And Rats just
Oh,
good
yes.
job, good
Yeah,
coaching.
big
Yeah,
kick.
Managed
massive
the
tick.
expectation very nicely.
Whatever that preparation was during the week and getting into the boys' head, like, you know, all these things that have been done to us, why not us? You know, that's saying at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we take that into our game and look at all these things and go, yeah, of course we can do that. Because we can.
Yeah.
We're a good football side. But we just, our heads all drop at the same time for some reason. So it was great to see we came back together as a team and it was a 4-quarter effort.
Yeah.
First time this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge.
Alrighty, boys. Well, we'll go into a bit of a break. It's all smiles in here.
Before we do, I think we just need to go back to Butler.
Yep.
We've been harsh on him. For good reason, I think.
Yeah.
And because we hold him to a high standard. It's his fault. Because he came over and he played to such a high
How dare he play so well?
How dare he play so well, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what we came to expect. And we haven't seen that for so long. But we know that he can do it. And that's why he's been frustrating. But that is pure 100% Dan Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game plan.
That's silver service.
Silver
I love
service. But the game plan played to his
That was his
style,
Yeah.
didn't it? You know,
Yeah.
so
At the back a bit more space in the forward line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good
allowed
combination.
to go for goals. You know, get hungry.
It was a mix, like, the game plan overall was like a mix of us in the first 10 weeks this year defensively.
Yeah.
And then a bit of 2020 offensively.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Running forward of the ball a bit more.
Yeah,
That's the most I've seen us where we've had players out the back.
Yeah.
yeah,
We had it 3 or 4 times where there was 4 of us on one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how
But it
the
was
hell
all
did we manage
working
that?
back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all like we're all running
Yeah,
back.
no
from the
one was
wing.
We
camping
waited,
there.
No.
we waited, and then we're like, all right, the boys have won the ball. Now
Yeah,
we move. Not
exactly.
move, and then wait.
And I tell you, who's
So-
the fastest in the team is Tim Membry.
Yeah.
He
He
noticed.
is so quick.
Yeah.
He is so explosive. Like,
He's a powerful man.
oh, absolutely. He's
those
just
arms.
built for it. So he was always the furthest out the back.
Some's
You've gotta
about
be-
3 meters long.
Oh,
His arms. They're so long. It's so weird.
and like one thing that wasn't touched, because everyone's going on about Carlton missing their opportunities,
blah,
but
blah.
well, we should have been up by 6 goals in that first quarter because
yeah.
there was just the collective on Dan Butler and Higgins. It was almost identical plays. Beautiful kicks in from Sinclair. They both having a shot 35 on a slight angle and both missed.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck, here we go.
Yeah,
But-
Marshall missed one.
and
from
Marshall
50.
missed one. But yeah, credit to the boys. They kept going, got some goals.
Got back on top, didn't they? Alrighty, boys. Well, have a bit of a break now and then some Jakey's Junk Mail.
Jakey's Junk Mail. Jakey's Junk Mail. Jakey's Junk Mail. Jakey's Junk Mail.
Jakey's Junk Mail. Jake.
Joyce.
Over to you.
Thanks, mate. This one's from Kelton.
Kelton!
Kelter Skelter.
I like it.
like
You
that?
like that too, yeah.
You like that one, Marshy? Or?
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, good. I just didn't hear anything.
Okay. If you listen back, I gave it a little chortle.
All right, you go. Oh, funnily enough, yip yip boys. He's there you go, straight in.
Yes, good
How
boy.
often do you get that at games? The yip yip.
Oh, I've got a few actually, surprisingly. Yeah.
We're gonna get it on a t-shirt. He said we finally got Highmore in the side after waiting for so long. Does he stay in our starting 22, or does he move for an improved pattern this week back to the medical sub? As always, love your work. Side note, I had a nightmare during the week that Jack Sinclair was delisted and we went down to the Blues by 400. So Friday was a good mood booster. That's a shocking nightmare.
Yeah, that's terrible, nightmare.
He told me about that nightmare. He sent me a message saying that he'd had that. So, yeah, it's
shocking.
a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, a nightmare gone to waste. Keep Highmore in, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please. If they do listen to this podcast, keep him in. He's so good.
People are quick to go on hit the alarm when we are playing alarmingly poor football. So it can kind of work out both ways, I think. But typically, I reckon every club's like that.
Yeah.
Well, look, even the Carlton fans after
Yeah.
Friday night probably overreact a little bit and said the season's done, like you were saying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, historically, I said this in the inbox earlier today. I've got us projected to win 13 games.
Don't say
If we win 13 games, we'll most likely 90% finish ninth, and that is the most wins, equal most wins in history to miss out on the 8. So if we're looking at 13 wins for a season is phenomenal. It's just stiff, So, and you can count, that's when you start to count the losses. So I think that it's more justified this year to go off about those bad losses like to your Port Adelaide and your Essendon, because fuck, they count.
Yeah.
That's what this season has been about, has been points on the board.
Yeah.
It's been getting those 4 points. It's not about percentage, it's getting the 4 points, because we've got a higher percentage than Collingwood, and they're currently sitting 6th.
Yeah.
So, I think it's the most important thing.
There's more on the line.
There's more on the line, exactly right. So we've now made it a percentage game. We didn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's from Anthony. A message for the junk mail. Firstly, how are we all feeling after that beautiful display of team effort? Is there a better feeling in footy when you're stuck in GA as a member and hear all game how much better they are than us, only to then see them leave before the final siren?
Oh,
I love it.
na 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 na. Hey.
Goodbye. I love busting that one out.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's been too long since fans have done the walk of shame.
Yeah, we're too pleasant, aren't we?
Well, I guess we just really haven't been in that many games where the only teams that we've really pounded would be like North.
Yeah.
But they're used to losing.
Yeah.
And the ones that do show up, they're going to get
Could have done
their
it
money's
to
worth.
Richmond.
Yeah, true. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been good.
Yeah.
Geelong would have been nice, but it was a bit close, I
It was
think.
a bit close, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's from Max. Good evening, boys. I expect everyone to have a drink in their hand after a long overdue win. Absolutely.
Ding, ding.
It's tea count. I have 2 questions. First for Joycey. Who in the team would you love to get on stage with to play a song?
Oh. In the current 22 or overall?
Yeah, current 22.
I reckon Jack Higgins would have a good time. But if not, I'd say Dan Hanbury. I reckon he would know how to put on a show.
Who do you reckon is like an underrated singer? Who do you reckon is like in the
Would be
shower
able
and
to
could
sing.
sing?
I reckon
This is my
Benny
question.
Long's always got the guitar.
True, yeah, he can sing.
Yeah, he can sing. Yeah, I reckon he'd be able to sing.
Nas is always plucking away on the banjo as well, I can see.
There you go. So we've got a little bit of musical talent
Bit of
there.
Backstreet Boys. You got Highmore there as well. You can be.
I was going to say
can be
Highmore looks like the
backs-
one that would actually like just be able to belt out a tune, like come out like Nick Carter and just do that. Everybody, yeah.
Highmore. Just sing his own name. Ruin that one there.
Thanks, mate.
Speaking of, second, at first the woof facade was annoying. However, I found myself and mates all getting around it by the end of the game.
Yeah,
My
it's
question is,
That's
who
good.
in our team can we do something like that for? I know we used to do it for Dukes, but on TV and in the crowd it sounds more like boo instead of Dukes. So who?
Oh, but that used to happen with Roo. as
Yeah.
well.
yeah, everyone's
So
like, why is he being booed?
I reckon stick to Dukes, but like Roe, I reckon needs one.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit.
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo though, doesn't it?
Phonetically, that doesn't say because it has to go. Like,
Yeah, true.
Like
So who we got like?
Because I was actually thinking that, and I'm like, that's cool, and like all it took was for Ange Christo to
Dude,
come out,
yeah.
and just call to the masses, and yeah, to Carlton's credit, they that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who could we do?
Yeah, so many others.
Yeah, we
Jones, nah, he doesn't get it enough. I was thinking Sinks would be nice, but there's nothing.
We've got Dukes.
yeah
We've
do-
got Dukes. We just need to put in more of an effort.
Yeah, we I reckon we just need to instead of like the spoils we could maintain, but I reckon we need to bring that into possessions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when he's doing his little kick-ins.
Yeah. He's a confidence player.
Was it?
too.
Yeah.
Was it Savage where like we'd hum before he bombs it? Who was
Oh.
that out of the back line? Remember we used to, we'd kind of like
We used
Like-
to give it the "oh, yeah."
as he kicked it.
Yeah.
Something like that would be good too.
Yeah. No, that's nice. Oh yeah,
The wolf?
the wolf. I like the wolf.
I was getting annoyed halfway through the game.
I like the Wolf. Yeah.
This one's from Mark. Hey, Jake, Joyce, and Marshy. First time,
Marky.
long time, lads. First off, love the pod, guys. Nothing better than driving to work in the wee hours of a Tuesday morning with a fresh episode to listen to. In fact, after a loss relating to the raw passion and emotion on show from all three of you is almost like therapy that helps me get past the loss and return to somewhat of a decent human being and move on to the next weekend.
Oh, good on you, Mark.
Well, Marky Mark, we are your funky bunch, mate. So
Yeah.
That was Chris, Joycey.
thank you.
Would love to get your thoughts on Ben Long, his spot in the best 22, and if he has a future in that 22. Benny Long, because we were all kind of questioning him being dropped this week because he brings that pressure.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, we still had more inside 50 tackles than Carlton.
Yeah.
15 to be exact, which is a good number
Yeah.
without him. So what do we think?
Oh, he's very handy.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got a future, and to have a good list, you need more than 22 players.
So is he in the best 22 or is he depth?
I think his best football, and you could say that with all of our players. That's why it's pretty tricky. Like, it's
Yeah.
a good position.
Yeah, yeah.
That if everyone's playing their best football, that would take more than a Jakey's junk mail session to work it out. But
Jake's Junkies.
Jake's Junkies. But I think Benny Long, he's another one. He's like Pato. He needs to go back to Sandy, and he's a confidence player. So I think he just needs to get his hands on the pill a bit more and just get some goals and just get his form back.
I reckon there's a segment in that.
I reckon that's what we call everyone that sends in a junk mail.
The Junkies.
Yeah.
Cheers, Junkies.
Yeah.
I'm part of Jake's Junkies.
We're gonna have to count up who sent in the most junk mail and who sent in the best
that'd be-
questions to give him the Junkie of the Year award.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah, I reckon the sad saying he's a fair junkie.
He's
He
right
is a
up
good
there.
junkie.
Yeah.
This
He's got his support base though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. He's already big enough. This one's from Will. First off, love the pod and always, and also how good was it seeing Rats on the bench?
Yeah, it was
Bit of a
nice.
change.
At the right time as well.
Yeah.
At the right time. Need to go down and have a chat to Jackie Steele, and it's exactly what he did. Pulled him aside and gave him a couple of words. And
And it kind of worked out well in that, because that was when Clark and Butler had their little thing, and there was a big gap in play where he was able to, even though that the camera showed him perhaps not doing too much, but I think that was a pretty calming sort of influence for the lads.
Yeah.
Get the message out.
yeah.
Yep. This is from Stephen. Thoughts on nicknaming Jack Sinclair the Surgeon, elite ball user?
Yeah.
The Surgeon.
He does have a precise right foot.
What could do you reckon that's his?
it's
We
the
don't really
calves,
have a
though.
nickname.
Yeah.
Calves? Is that what we call him? Because it's like Harvey.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's actually all right.
Yeah.
Calves?
Robert Carvey.
Yeah.
Carvey? That'll work.
Yeah.
If we just... Are we
Calves.
labelling him now calves?
Yeah, calves.
Yeah, calves.
Surgeon's all right, though. I
The
don't
surgeon's
mind.
all right, but that's good. You stimulated us to to the result.
Yeah, it's all teamwork here. No credit goes to me. It's all to you boys. This is from Josh. How can we get bigger crowds at our home games?
Keep
I
winning.
mean, that wasn't our home game, but it was a big crowd.
Yeah, it was a big crowd.
But this
yeah.
week, like, what are we expecting with Freo? Because Carlton pulled 35
Yeah.
against Fremantle. What are we doing, 25?
You just got to remember, like, Carlton, for the past 20 years, have laid dormant. They are the biggest club in the AFL,
Yeah.
along with Collingwood.
Because even when they're
running on
doing
top.
shit, they're still pulling decent crowds.
They're still pulling decent crowds, and as soon as they find some success, it'll just be like, we haven't lived through the dominance of the Carlton Football Club.
Yeah.
We haven't lived through it. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Blues footy.
Oh, it's just like history is rampaged by Collingwood and Carlton.
Yeah.
And Essendon for that matter. So, it's just like, it's going to be scary if they do improve next year, and if they do start to get to that, top 3 position, it's going to be like the Tigers all over again. But this Saturday night,
Yeah.
I want 30,000 at least.
It's a big game. Like, you got to get out. This is
Yeah.
a big, big game. It's a final again.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, until we have success, we're never going to pull those. Because you need to lay the foundations. You need to get the generations. Like, we nearly had it over 04 and 5. We're pulling pretty good crowds then. Like, Marvel was I think it was like average, like 35, 40,000 a week. But, yeah, until we start showing some sustained success, like we did in the 2000s, it's going to be we're a fickle bunch because there was a lot of plastic supporters not going there on Friday night because it was too hard. And well, you couldn't get a ticket. But I mean, people who just didn't want to go. Like you just sort of socials awash with people just pissing in their cans, saying, "Oh, why would you bother going?"
Yeah,
well, that's why you fucking bother. Because you missed they missed out on a treat.
Like your mate in the fan cams.
Yeah.
Matty Marsh.
Yeah,
he got up in your grill, didn't he?
Yeah, Chris, he's a great man, Chris. Yeah,
so passionate, love it.
Yeah, he's a good man.
This one's from Dan. G'day, lads. How do we feel about the tall forwards of Freo and who gets the job on who?
I was just thinking about that.
Especially with Dukes out. PS, is there any news on the whereabouts of Saints TV favourite Hayley Watson?
She sent in a message last week. She's alive and well.
She's around. She's going well.
Yeah.
Just getting weekly update on Hayley Watson.
What was the question?
Tall forwards of Freo. Who gets the job on who? I think Taberner might miss.
Why? What happened?
Hamstring.
Oh, that's good.
He went off.
Did he?
Late in the game, he potentially did a hamstring. I don't know. I'll check now quickly.
Well, if you cast your mind back to when we dominated them down in Tassie, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Did they have their forward brigade?
I don't know. I'd have to check the.
Because Lob's he's an interesting one. He can tear games apart, but he can also do nothing.
When they have the crab and the lobster together,
it's going to be tough going. But Joyce, he played really well against Freo last year. He came. I know he played,
and I don't think Lob would appreciate someone like Joyce because who do they played Port Adelaide?
Yeah.
On the weekend, and their defenders are quite clean. Like he was on probably Mackenzie or. Who's there?
Jonas.
Or Jonas. And they're all very clean footballers and they love to get possession and look silky when they're doing it. Joyce isn't worried about that. He's worried about putting on body and getting the job done and just being annoying.
Yeah.
Go annoy him because he doesn't want to be touched. Yeah. Push him off the ball. Get stuck into him. Test his character.
Yeah, I'd like to see Joycey perhaps get a gig because we do need to bring in a big body. Yeah. And he's the only one
Bring in the fam.
Sorry?
Bring in the fam.
The fam?
Yeah, Joyce. Joycey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got you now. I'm playing with you.
What do you think? I've got this jumper. Right? It's not for me. It's for Big Dara.
Dara. Yeah.
So, yeah, I reckon Joycey in to go on lob and then...
Yeah, because who else have they got? They got Meek. They play the two rucks, so they'll have Meek down there.
Yeah. That always stretches us.
Yeah.
Let's see, last year. So no update on Taberner's hammy, but he was subbed off yesterday.
He was subbed off, okay. Yeah.
So there's some question marks on him. And last year,
when
we played them, their forward line, there was Taberner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tracy, Meek. They had Darcy playing.
Yeah. They had a pretty strong
They
team.
didn't have Lob, though.
Yeah, okay.
Big.
Yeah.
So he's a big in for them. But their team from last time we played them is very similar to the team they've got now. They've just had that organic growth in their performance. But
out of their midfield.
Out of their midfield mainly. Similar to Carlton in a way. I don't see Freo too different to Carlton.
Yeah. And that gives us great confidence, doesn't it, after what, especially when Dukes went down, what we can do with an already undersized defence, the team defence in the back line.
Yes, yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
No disrespect to Freo, but Carlton had Mackay and Curnow.
Yeah.
They're two absolute guns.
Yes.
They've got Lob, and then they've got a lot of fillers. Like Taberner's great, but he might not even play.
Yeah.
And then it's resting rucks. So you'd think we could...
I think, as a team defence, I reckon we could get on top. Like, they've got Collier, Walters, who's the other?
Banfield. Is it Banfield?
But he missed
their mids rest there a little bit, like Sarong plays
Banfield
there.
was out. I think he's injured, or he had a concussion.
No, you're right, he was out. And their backline's good, but we can get at them.
Yeah. I reckon we can. Really well. We just need to have a functioning forward line again because they've got a great defence. I reckon they've got the best defence in the comp, and Port Adelaide did really well in stretching that. They gave up quite a lot of goals in the second and third quarter, but they really brought it back in that last.
And kick goals quick.
Kick goals very quick, and they could have won the game. Todd Marshall missed 2 late goals. So
that's almost like the perfect game for us. A real close physical encounter. Yeah. Freo just win, so they're not too smarting, but they'll be coming off the 6-day break.
We've got 8.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah, at home. So the
Yeah,
ingredients are
under the
there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Was that the end of junk mail?
That is. Nice one.
Beautiful. That was nice. That was
Yeah,
a pleasant
nice.
junk mail, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's always nice.
It was a
when
good
we-
snack.
Yeah, it was a good snack.
Bite-sized junk mail
So
there.
we've talked briefly about the Freo game. So I think that, the biggest battle for us again, and this is great that we're playing two very similar sides to like week after week, is that their midfields are very much the same.
Yeah.
We got right on top of their midfield. They have the star power in terms of, Cripps and Walsh and Hewitt's averaging 30 plus disposals a game.
Kennedy.
And, just a powerful midfield. But we found a way to control that. We found a way to nullify that, and we ended up winning the centre clearances 15-10,
Yeah.
which is amazing. Amazing against Carlton. We equalled them, I think, 21 apiece or something in stoppages around the ground. But I think we got to do more or less the same thing again, because we're coming up against, Sarong, Brayshaw. Will Brody's having a big year. Fife going through
Akers
the midfield
has actually been
again.
okay too.
Yeah, is Akers back? Because he didn't play on the
think
He
weekend.
didn't play last
Did he
week.
play on the weekend?
No, I
he's in my
doubt that
ultimate footy team, so he's still out.
Yeah, so I reckon he'll be out again this week.
Yep.
But look, that they are a very good side, and we paid them respect in round 2, and we got over the top. So we ended up winning. It was a very low scoring encounter, a very defensive encounter, because that's the way that they like to play footy. Although Ross Lyon's not their coach anymore, it's still
Part of their DNA.
It is part of their DNA. Very well said. So I don't know. What do you think, Marshy?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we seem to play well against Freo. We match up well against them if you're just looking at recent years gone by. But if we bring the same heat, the same application as we did last week, and that's the big if. If we do that, we're getting the job done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if we go away from that, if we're off, if we don't rock up, even 5% off, then Freo are a good team. They're sitting second for a reason, or third, whatever they are. But I don't know, we got better ruck. It's all about the ruckman. Like Paddy and Marshall just showed how crucial they are to what we do as a footy club.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For this year. So if them boys are up and about, the mids just maintain their composure, and Rats and the rest of the coaching team apply a plan that the boys can follow.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like we had one that everyone was on the same page with against Carlton. So if we can recreate that and adjust it for Fremantle, we're in it up to our guts.
Yeah. And they got away with one on the weekend.
Yeah.
That late power surge, they got away with it. So I reckon due for one.
How many have they?
Very good
Are
timing
they on
for
a
us.
winning streak? No, they
No,
lost.
because they
to,
lost to Carlton.
That's right, and
Yeah.
they've been like early form away from home is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But they look a bit shaky when they travel anyway.
Yeah, they beat Melbourne
they're
at the G,
a bit of a
which
mixed
is
bag.
huge. So that's their big away
When
game.
Melbourne did start losing 3 in a row,
That was the
so-
reason. That was the reason they
Yeah.
were the first team to beat Melbourne. So, they found him out, which means they'll probably do a bit of homework on us and see what we did to Carlton.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important for people to actually rock up to this game, because unfortunately I'm going to be managed for the next indefinite period while we await the arrival of the little ones. So
Personal reasons.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but we need to make it a hostile environment, because that's what Carlton would have had.
Yeah.
We saw it firsthand how hostile they are. So if we can get 35,000,
Be huge.
Yeah.
huge Saturday night, there's no reason. We're under the roof, the weather's perfect. But just make it really loud, really unpleasant
Yes.
for Freo.
Absolutely.
Because we're looking. I digress a little bit, but I looked at the free kick differential, and we're second last.
Oh, yeah,
And,
it's ridiculous.
And you look at the north of the ladder, you've got Carlton. They're pretty high up there.
Yeah.
And like the West Coast and all of that. But all the teams that just have really loud support, the voice of affirmation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we can bring a bit of that as well, it turns the tide in our favour, because we didn't touch on it, but 21-9 free kicks.
That's fucking
That was
ridiculous.
disgusting. There were so many, like that damn Butler one, where
When he thought it was his?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a caravan, whoever it was, that was on Butler.
Yeah.
And then they paid Butler holding the ball, and he's
Yeah.
never had possession of it.
He tapped it to himself.
Yeah.
He literally let the ball fall in front of him, and he
that-
got slung off it.
That's right, and that decision was purely influenced by the one-sided crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were yelling ball at everything.
Oh, that was so
Everything.
Oh, that does my head in as just a football peeve.
Yes, yeah. And then that Harry Mackay one.
Oh,
Like, you've got to be looking for that, don't you? You've got to be looking for reasons to pay them a free kick to keep them in the game, don't you? Because that one where he just threw his head back, didn't touch Battle at all, and just threw his head back where he was nowhere near the ball. And Battle was just looking at the ball, and Mackay's behind him going, oh. And Battle's gone, oh, for fuck's sake.
yeah.
Like, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And why are games this year... I think historically, some of the weirdest umpired games in history. Like, I just haven't seen umpiring like I've seen it this year. There's just been so many peculiar calls, so many, like, obvious free kicks that aren't paid.
Yeah.
Like, they're forgetting the holding the ball rule. We'll put the whistles
Because
away.
there's too many rules to worry
now.
about.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
say.
So
Yeah.
now they're peeling it back. They got rid of that. Is it protected zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. That was stupid.
They've relaxed that one.
Yeah.
So that's just one less thing for the umpires to worry about. But they need to do another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
Because if you're an umpire and you have to call stand every time the ball's marked,
Yeah.
that's fucking exhausting.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't fucking get it. But anyway,
Moral of the story: just get down there, Sanus.
Yeah, we want to hear some noise.
Let's
Yeah.
bury him.
Yeah.
Let's bury the Dockers.
Well, when was the last time they beat us at Marvel? We
It's
beat them
been a while.
there in 2019. One of Rats's first
Yeah, we
Marvel
beat them then,
games, and
yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh, was that in? Oh, that was in. Oh,
That was at Metricon, where they had to come from behind. We were
Yeah,
30 some points up, and they came back and beat ourselves at Metricon.
Yeah, that was 20. Oh, yeah, it would have been 2020.
That was 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
North got us at home.
Yeah.
With a big comeback, didn't
Yeah,
they?
that was the
year.
one. Yeah. That was the round one. But
Oh.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since they've toppled us at our home ground, and we've managed to go over there and beat them a few times in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So, historically, we do get over the top of them. Like, even going back to 2013, when it was Cozzy, Blake,
Oh,
and
what a game
Milne's
that was
last
to
game,
go
and,
to.
Yeah.
and then we
That was so good.
we pummeled them then.
That was in my top 10.
Yeah, that's when they were
satisfying
top.
games.
Yeah.
They,
you
they
go.
were top
Yeah.
or something at that point.
Yeah, it was
Cruising.
like top first bottom or something.
Yeah, we
like
smashed
something
them.
weird. And
Yeah.
then we did it the same thing next year.
Yeah.
Like, they were again very high up the ladder, and we absolutely obliterated them.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do that again,
That'd be nice.
because we do go in as the underdogs. Mm-hmm. So
Oh, that's when we play our best footy.
that's exactly right.
Geelong, Carlton,
Yep.
plenty
So
of times.
predictions. Oh, did we do predictions last week?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think we were too.
Yeah, we're
down.
too,
I
yeah,
think
we're
we
too
just
flat.
kind of
We did-
didn't even bother.
So should we do predictions this week, or just let it play out?
No, let's take a sip of our own medicine, and much like you're saying that rats and that, just to repeat whatever the process was last week.
Yep.
I'm happy to repeat last week's
Let it
process.
Let it flow.
Yeah, exactly. So, Marshy, have you got a minute?
It's always a question mark, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Do I have a minute?
Oh, you could talk about the social. If you
Yeah.
like.
Oh, the social. Yeah. Some good things are happening with the Bentley social. So, put it in your diaries now. We can definitely say to put it in your diaries is the game against West Coast. So that would be the 23rd of July, I think. It's a Sunday session. So,
Yep.
perfect opportunity, if you haven't been there before, to get down, because we're going to be getting the whole venue.
24th.
The 24th, sorry.
Yep.
Sunday, it's going to be a lazy Sunday, but, a few beverages and plenty of time just to maybe, good things could be happening then. Oh, Joycey, you're busy.
Yeah, I've got a gig.
Oh, Jacob.
What time's the game? 4:40.
4:40.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to make it, I reckon, half time I can get there.
Ah, that's
maybe.
good enough, mate.
Oh, nice
Yeah,
one.
10
I'll
goals
make it
up at
down
that
for
point.
Yeah, I'll make it down for the second half.
Oh,
so.
you beauty. So, I reckon put it in your diaries now. Put it in your leave request if you'd like to get a little bit more celebratory with it
Yeah.
all. But, yeah, I'd say that's probably my minute is just, let's look ahead.
Yeah, we'll
Yep.
post about that next week.
Yeah,
so everyone
that's
can
right.
RSVP. And then we've got the Geelong game as well. We'll do that one 6th of August. So 2 good ones to end the year, hopefully.
Yep, I
And then
reckon
maybe
on the-
finals.
I think I'm free on the 6th of August, so I reckon I can provide my services there.
Yep.
That's a Saturday.
Saturday night
Saturday night.
at GMHPA.
All right, well, maybe I'll play some tunes on the 6th of August.
Actually, I do have a cheeky minute.
Yeah.
Or a genuine minute.
Yep.
So when things aren't going well at Moorabbin, the train just stops. There's no what's on at RSEA for the week.
Yeah.
There's no uncut. There's nothing. Everyone goes into the bunker. But we did get a what's on at RSEA this week, and we got the open training for the captain's run for the lads. None for the chicks, the AFLW. You know, and so if you're listening, if you're keen to go watch them train, they train on Wednesday nights.
Yep.
Because I'm back on doing the dinners.
Are you?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So,
The Angels.
Yeah, that's it. The
brilliant.
Angels. I need to get my own Angels name tag. Actually, I'm going to put it and apron. So I'll be down there, and I'll try and get some scoops. Try and get some hot goss for the next week's potty of what's
Love it.
going on in the women's program.
They should do a combined captain's run, shouldn't they?
Well, I guess it's just a bit tricky because the girls train at night, so after work.
Oh, I guess so, yeah, after work,
So
yeah, makes sense.
and the lads do the 11 o'clock bizzo
True,
or 10 o'clock,
yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But and just a quick shout out to the VFLW Southern Saners. Excellent year. Just went down to a fully
Very good Essendon team.
yeah, very good Essendon team who probably had about 15 AFLW listed players. So
Yeah.
whereas we had 2, and but yeah, it was a good game, but they had their opportunities. But yeah, Essendon were just a little bit more experienced, and
Yeah.
but yeah, nonetheless, a fantastic effort to get into their first VFLW grand final.
Yep, spot on. Alrighty, boys. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Saturday brings good fortune, hopefully, and we can get over the top of the Freo Dockers. We'll be getting down. Jake and I will be there.
Absolutely.
So make sure you get down. Now, I will be having a few pre-game beers at the Carlton Brew House.
Oh.
Yep. So I'll be strumming the guitar a bit there from 2 till 5, and then afterwards a bit of dinner. So if you're free during the Arvo and you want to watch some footy and drink some beers and listen to some good tunes.
Oh, so do you do
down.
that there as part of just residency? Like,
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always
pre-game.
thought it was like private gigs or things.
No, so
Or
it's
like
not private
functions.
there. It's not private there, so it's like residency. Yeah.
Yeah, right. All
Yeah,
right.
so-
We may come in for a cheeky tibble.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Very nice. Alrighty. Well, boys, we'll leave it there. Go Saners, and we're going to wrap it up with a bit of a joke. I believe Jake's got a joke for us. So, Jakey's joke
You know,
mail.
Put me on the spot, boys. I'm always so good at this.
You've got some material, I reckon.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Owen.
Oh, I know.
You.